Hey team, I want to talk to you today about how not to puke Plexus. So you're probably like, what the heck does she mean by that? And I had no clue when I started, and I can guarantee that I did this. So when someone reaches out to you about Plexus, maybe they ask you a question, maybe they comment on one of your Facebook posts, or even just like one of your Facebook posts. You don't want to send them pages and pages of information. You don't want to send them 6 videos or 6 articles or 6 testimonies. That's what I mean by puking Plexus. Because that can be overwhelming, that can be scary to the person who's getting it, because that's a lot of information for them to try to figure out. What does it mean? How can it help me? And I can tell you, when I started, I did that because I was so excited. Somebody wanted to know about Plexus. I wanted to give them all the information. Okay, you want to make it like a conversation. You want a conversation that's going, and you'll eventually get it all to them, but you're building a relationship. And that is what is so important with Plexus. And what I've had so many tell me about, maybe why they have reached out to me is because I have made it more about a relationship and not just trying to sell them. So, 2 things I want to talk about. How to get information out to someone who shows interest, and how to get information out to someone who maybe you think could benefit from Plexus but hasn't reached out to you. I call those cold messages that I send out. So, I have some notes here I'm going to be looking down at. Don't want to make sure I miss anything. So, let's say someone likes a post that you made on Facebook, or they comment on a post. I want you to reach out to them that day. I want you to send them a message that day, because that is them showing interest. It might not be that they're 100% ready to commit. It might just be, oh, that intrigues me. That sparks interest. So I want for you to reach out to them that day, or the next day at the latest. What I usually do is, if I get a comment or a like, specifically a comment, I immediately respond back through a private message. Sometimes my likes get lost in my notifications. I try to keep track of those. But I always, in the morning, go back and look at all my posts from the day before and see who liked them. And if I didn't comment yesterday, or not comment, private message them yesterday, then I go back and I do it today. So within 24 hours, usually I am messaging them. And you want it to be a private message, because we're talking about health. Sometimes things can be sensitive. You might make a little comment on the Facebook page, if post, if they commented, but you want to give any information or ask any questions through a private message. So someone reaches out to you by a like or a comment, you are going to respond right away. But what do you say? What do you do? So we don't want to puke Plexus, so we want to keep it short. We want to give them a little bit of information, and we want to end with a question. Why do we want to end with a question? Well, we want to keep this as a conversation, and we want to keep the conversation going. If we ask a question, they answer. They might even ask us a question. Then we can answer with some more information, and a back and forth type of thing. Sorry, I have a window here, so I got distracted. So it's conversation. So you want to keep it short. Let's say they liked a gut health post that you had. Something you might say is, I saw that thanks for liking one of my Plexus posts. Is this, is gut health something you struggle with, or do you know much about gut health? That's it. So, acknowledging that they liked it, asking them a question. Let's say that they make a comment about, something on energy. You posted about drinking your Slim in the morning. They're like, man, I really could use that energy today. You might message, thanks for commenting on my post about energy. Is this something you struggle with daily, that you don't have energy? That's it. Okay, so keeping it very, very short, but asking a question. Now, once you've responded to that, I want you to make sure to write their names down on your potential list, because you want to follow up with them. Hopefully they're going to respond, and it can be back and forth, but they might not respond. Maybe they get busy. Maybe they just like, oh yeah, there's that thing. So you may have to make the next response, even though you've asked a question. So you need to write their name down on your potential list. I have a binder that I have, and I have a video that I talked about that called Contacting and Following Up. So if you don't have some sort of system for listing people who are potentials, then you need to come up with a system, and you can check out mine on that video. So, someone likes or comments, you're going to respond right away. You're going to make it short and simple. Just Short little question, not sending them a lot of information, and just keeping it going back and forth. So after the first message you sent, there's no response. That does not mean no. That might just mean can't do it right now, might mean oops, I forgot to respond back. There's lots of reasons why people don't respond back. So that's why I encourage you to make that list, and you're going to go back to them. What I usually do if someone's liked or commented on a post and I've sent them a message, if they don't respond back and we continue that conversation going, then usually about a week later, I'll send another message. Wanted to follow up with your like on my post about gut health. Are you struggling with that? Can I send you some information? Something like that. Okay? So usually about a week later. If I don't hear anything, then usually about 2 weeks after that, I'll respond back with maybe a video about gut health. Hey, I remembered you liked my post on gut health. Just saw this video about gut health and made me think of you. Take a look at it. Let me know what sparks an interest. Give them a little bit of piece of information, not specifically about how our Probio 5 helps, but just about importance of gut health. Or I might send something about the Probio 5, but end it in a question. Then after that, if I don't hear back from them, I'm not going to keep hounding every single week or every single 2 weeks. Then I usually go about every month, every couple months. Okay, I am starting now that I've been in this for about a year now, posting for about 9 months, that I have some people that I'm only following up with every 2 or 3 months because they haven't responded back, but I've started having some of them come to me now with those responses. So like I maybe have done 8 messages to them with no response, and now they're like, yeah, I keep seeing this and I keep seeing you talk about this thing that helps you with energy. I really think I need to try it. So I know it can be scary to continue to post and continue to send messages, but keep doing it. Everybody can benefit from Plexus. So what other types of things can you say? How can you say it so that you're not puking Plexus? I have lots of verbiage that I've come up with over the last year, like bits and pieces I've picked up from other ambassadors, videos that I've watched, just kind of figuring out what to say. There is a document on our team page called, Scripts and Reaching Out. I really suggest that you go and look at that because I have a lot of just short little couple sentences that I might send as follow-ups, or even just when someone asks me about Plexus. I have another document called Verbiage that has lots of information about once the conversation starts. People start asking you questions, so we'll talk about that in a second. So what's so important is that when someone reaches out to you, that you get to them right away, but that you don't try to give them all the information that you have. And if you're new, you're not going to have a lot of information. That was scary for me. So just start as a conversation, and then they ask questions. Go try to find the answer. Research the Facebook pages. Look in our back office. Look at that ambassador kit that you got. There's so much information there. Ask me. Okay? But just give them little pieces of information and keep the conversation going. Looking to see. Oh, one thing that sometimes I will use as a follow-up message, maybe I've sent the first message, maybe in the second message, I might say something like, wanted to check in to see if you received the Plexus info I sent you. The benefits have been so great for me and my family, and I just know that they're going to help you be healthy. What questions do you have for me? So I'm showing them how they've helped me and that I really think that they're going to help them, but asking them a question. Might send them a testimony if I know that they struggle with something. So I know that they are diabetic. I'm going to send something about the Slim and say, hey, I know you struggle with diabetes. Check out this video about Slim and how it helps that. Maybe they have, that they have stomach issues. Sending them something about the Probio 5. Okay? It's all about it being a relationship. So if you're showing them that, hey, I care about you, they're more likely going to reach out to you at some point. May not be right now, but just keep going. And then also, always making sure to tell them about specials. Corporate will do specials from time to time. And then if you ever feel like doing a special, you can too. We just can't put those publicly on Facebook. And you can, ask me about how to do that at some point. So that's one thing. People are going to reach out to you, might ask you a question, might comment or like on a post. Now, people might also, there might be people that you think of that Plexus would benefit. So it's not someone who's reached out to you. I call these cold messages that I send through maybe Facebook or email. Like I know someone is struggling with something and I really know that Plexus could possibly help them. So this can be scary because this is not someone who has reached out to you. This took me a while to get started, and still sometimes when I send, get ready to hit that send button, I get a little nervous. But I don't know how many people have reached out to me after a message like that, or a couple messages. They're like, I really do need to look into this. I think this is something that could help. With those specifically, you need to make them personal. Don't just make it all about Plexus. I really love being able to keep up with you on Facebook, or I love seeing your kids at the Strawberry Patch last week. It really made me think about you and that you struggle with, I don't know, weight is a hard one. But if they post about that all the time, I actually just sent one today. I have a friend that keeps posting about weight loss. She had asked me once about Plexus a long time ago, and I responded and a couple times, and there was nothing. So today, and I guess this isn't a cold message, but it's been several months, I reached out to her and said, hey, I saw this testimony about weight loss and how it took, so many years of being so frustrated, and I really just thought of you. So it's about building relationships. So you're going to send these cold messages. People haven't reached out to you. You need to make it personal. You need to, make it not just like you're trying to sell Plexus, because you are trying to help them with their health. I'm going to make it short, just like before. We don't want to puke Plexus. We want to make it very short. We want to make it very personal, and you want to end in a question. So, once again, a lot of things that I say to people, I have in that scripts and reaching out document on the team page. But something, this is kind of my cold messages, I kind of tailor them based on if they have a specific struggle that I know that they're having. But sometimes I'm just sending information out. I don't know that people are struggling with something. But I'm like, hey, I haven't reached out to this person. I'm going to do it. So I might say something like, I'm sure you've seen me posting on Facebook and can tell that I'm really passionate about Plexus. Cannot tell you enough about how my family has benefited. Here's a cute little video that talks about Plexus. Watch it. Let me know what sparks an interest. So I ended in a question, told them that I'm benefiting, and gave them a little video to watch. So this really, really cute video that I found by a fellow ambassador. I think it's called What is Plexus? It can be found on that verbiage document on my team page as well, that I love to send out for anybody who will just ask me, what is Plexus? Or for these cold messages, because it's just a cute little video that talks about how Plexus can help almost anybody. So I'll send that. That is kind of my generic cold message script if someone is not specifically struggling with something that I know of. But then I also, before I send that, I always have a sentence or two trying to make it personal, usually about something I've seen them post on Facebook. Oh, I really enjoyed your vacation pictures to Washington, D.C. Don't know if you've seen me posting about Plexus. If you have, you can tell I'm really passionate about it. Here's a cute video for you to check out. Watch it. Let me know what sparks an interest. Okay. They might respond back. Hey, yeah, man, that gut health stuff, I really think that maybe I have some issues with that, and that can start a conversation. It might be that they don't reach out to me. Okay? So what do I do with cold messages and people don't reach out to me? I do not go every week, every 2 weeks, every month and send them a message. That's just not me. If I send a cold message and they don't respond, I put them on my potential list, just like I did when I had someone who reached out to me, so that I know when I contacted them and what I contacted them about. But usually I will contact them 1 month later, and then if I don't get a response, then 3 months later. Just had someone a couple weeks ago who I had done that for. Back in January, I sent a cold message, no response. February, I sent one, no response. So the beginning of May, I did, and then now a customer of mine. They maybe needed more information and started watching my post. I sometimes think when I send messages, it might spark people's interest of, oh, I'm going to pay attention to what Dara's talking about here. I'm not ready to reach out or talk to her about it yet, but I think it does that. So it might just hone them into, what are you posting about? I'm going to pay attention to that. So With my cold messages, I don't do the same follow-up routine because they haven't shown interest yet. Now, as soon as they show interest, then I start with every week, every 2 week, every month until I get a kind of my theory is until I get a absolute no, I keep following up. Now, when I get an absolute no, I will always say something like, totally understand. Thanks for listening to me. If you ever see anything that I post that sparks an interest, please let me know. I say that because at some point they may see something and I don't want them thinking, oh, I told her no, I can't go back to her. Absolutely, you can come back to me. It just wasn't the right time. So even when someone tells me no, I always say something about, let me know if something sparks an interest or something changes. Please just let me know. I've had one person that I know of that has come back to me. So, that one person might not have, and there may be more that will. Once again, in follow-ups, that with the cold messages every month, every 3 months, I can send more videos, any testimonies that I might see, if they're special. Sometimes I will send messages, not within the 1 month or 3 month. If there's a corporate special, I send that out to anybody that I've had contact with. So another thing that's really, really helpful in me not puking Plexus is if I use the voice message on the Facebook Messenger. So I don't know if you know this, but when you go into Facebook Messenger on your phone, there is a little, I think it's a microphone where you can record I think it's a 59-second voice message that is within Messenger. So when you get a notification that you have a message, it's actually a recording they can listen to. And that really helps me not to puke Plexus because I know I only have 59 seconds. Now, obviously, I could send 2 or 3 or 4, but I think that seems like too much. So sometimes with follow-up messages, I will send a voice message saying, wanted to check in, see if you got the information above, what questions you might have, hope you're having a great day. Or I might send a voice message that says, sent you the Slim video a couple weeks ago. What did you think about how it can help energy? And that's it. So I'm just asking a question, acknowledging that I sent some information, but that voice message really, really helps me in not puking Plexus because I know I only have a short period of time. Let's see. What else? Okay, so that was kind of all about the beginning messages and maybe a little bit of the follow-up when you're not getting a response. So the not puking Plexus continues even when the conversation starts. So someone comments about on a post about gut health, you respond back, thanks for commenting on my post about gut health. Is this something you struggle with? And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my, like me, I would be like, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much I struggled with this. I did not know what normal gut health meant. What issues do you struggle with? Maybe they were like me. Okay, that's just my personal. So that might be my next message. And they're like, oh my gosh, and it depends on how personal it is or how somebody knows you, oh my gosh, my stomach is just always in a knot. Or it's just always feeling upset. Okay, so then I might respond back, do you take a probiotic? Yes, no. That kind of conversation going back and forth. And at some point there, I am going to send information about the probiotic. Oh my gosh, we have this wonderful probiotic. It has 5 good strands of bacteria and helps to kill the bad. Have you ever heard of anything like that? No, I haven't. It does both? Like you're going to start that conversation and you're sending information back and forth, but you're not sending everything that you have. On that verbiage document, I have a lot of verbiage that I have that I will send out. So you can look at that. I mean, I do a lot of copying and pasting because people ask similar types of questions. I personalize it. Videos, I like to send videos because I'm a visual person. And I also, especially when I started, I didn't know everything. So videos by other ambassadors helped me to get the information out there when I didn't always know it all or when it was harder for me. But I still send those videos even though I've learned a lot and I know that I still have more to learn about. So once a conversation starts, you want to keep it short and you want to keep ending with a question to keep it going. sending testimonies, sending videos. I'm not for sure if something happened in the middle there. My screen just went blank, so I'm hoping this continued. Sorry if there was that little blank. So sending testimonies, sending videos, just talking about how you found these things. Someone might ask you specifically about, I have lupus. Could Plexus help me with that? That's when I go to the Facebook pages about testimonies and I look for that stuff. I might find 2 or 3 and I'm going to send to them. And say, oh my gosh, look at what I found. I've had a lot of customers tell me how they like how I do so much research and I really seem to care about them. So it is all about the relationships. So once again, I'll send voice messages, kind of coming back and forth. Make sure to tell about specials. If you feel like somebody's on the line, but they're like, or they've started asking about pricing, and they're kind of hesitant, you can always offer a special if you want. I hesitated with that at the beginning, but I found that sometimes that will help someone over a hump, and I'm going to make money. I'm going to make that money back. But that's a whole different thing than this kind of is about. But just making sure you end in a question. So it's all about not puking Plexus. Making a conversation, making them know that you care, and that it's a relationship. Whether it be you're reaching out to someone who's never reached out to you, or they're reaching out to you about something, or you're having to continue to follow up. Just keep it short, keep it simple, and end in a question. And then when someone is ready to order, walk them through that. I have a graphic that I send people that's step by step for how to do that, but that's another thing that you just want to help walk people through. You're just helping walk them through everything about Plexus. So that's where these short conversations I think really come from, is just helping people realize what Plexus has to offer, how it can help them, and just starting them on their journey. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.